Good morning, everyone, and welcome to a Tuesday morning edition of the Mop. And welcome to the Mop. Beautiful sunny day, gonna be hotter than blazes again. Guys like me do not like this weather. Too damn hot. Yesterday was like a convection oven. Thank goodness the breeze, though, was there. At least it was a warm breeze, but the air was still moving. So, welcome. Hope you enjoy. Hopefully, we're supposed to get a little bit of rain tonight. We'll see. But welcome to the Mop. Comments and expectations and communication. So, if you own a business or you manage a business, does your communications you have with your employees reflect your expectations? Or do your communications give unreal expectations? Are you just absolutely wound tight all the time when you talk and you have your discussions with your employees? As an owner, are you involved in those communications as well, or do you let your managers take the realm and let them do their job? It's a big choices to make, especially I would imagine the bigger the company, the more ways you would have that you communicate. A lot of times managers are allowed to do what they need to do to make sure they're just hitting their goals, they're doing their jobs. Sometimes, though, the owners step in and make that harder, make that job tougher. And do you have a supporting role in how your managers are handling those underneath you? Are you making clear expectations and communications when you hire people? Are your training practices the same? Are your expectations for the guy that's been with your company 20 years or 10 years the same as what your new guy is? Are you bringing, the hard part for me these days is because of just me thinking out loud. This has nothing to do with my job here. This is just what, like I said, the mop is mine. It's just how I do this. I see a lot of sign-on bonuses at factories and things like that. And some of these people have been at these factories a long damn time. And you're bringing people on now at salaries that are hourly wages that are probably similar to the people that have been your long-term tenure guys. So how are you handling that? It's always been curious to me. You know, you see the local dairies and stuff here with sign-on bonuses for $3,200 or $2,500. Are you then giving your tenure guys that have never expected that, have always busted their butts for you, are they getting the same treatment? Are they getting a $500 bonus for all the hour years they've worked for you? You know, I know Rockwell for a while, I remember when they were given vacation right away, they were giving sign-on bonuses right away. And people were just going there basically to use the vacation up. You know, why not, I guess? If you're giving so much out to sign on and then you got to make it a year probably. And sometimes I don't even think they make it a deadline of how long you have to work to get your sign-on bonus, which to me seems weird. But what do I know? As far as sales goes, every time I've learned that I've cut myself short. I did what I wanted to be comfortable, to know my bills would be paid. The more I've researched what sales managers now are making or what they were making, it's insane difference at what I was being paid to be a sales manager to what I see these days. And I had 10, 12 years of experience, or my last one would have been almost 14 years of experience, either as an assistant manager or as the sales manager. And now I hear what people are making. It's crazy. I obviously shortchanged myself, but then again, I was comfortable. I wasn't expecting the moon, but I also had big expectations on how I was going to be treated. I don't do well with micromanaging. Don't micromanage me. If you're a micromanager, you probably shouldn't have a manager right below you. If you are an owner that has to micromanage everything, yeah, it's going to be tough to have an actual manager come in and run his department or her department. Because there's just a lot that goes on. And if you're I'm bigger stores now with multiple dealerships, it would be interesting to see the hands-on portion. You know, I was part of the Cyclone agency. They came in and did a lot of sales training and things like that. And you could see how businesses run. If you don't walk through as an owner and say good morning, and you know what makes your employees tick, if you don't know that, you probably should reevaluate on how to make that happen. Your employees want to feel valued. Your employees want to have that open communication. They want you to know that, hey, I'm not always here for the money. However, I still need to be valued. I still need you to see that and respect that I am here, other than to be screamed at, yelled at, and basically told how dumb I am. I've had that happen. It goes on. And I'm sure in the businesses that are big, like I don't know how intense that would be. I don't think I would want to be part of those huge corporations. The one thing I have learned is that the higher money they pay you, the more that they want to somewhat berate you, or their expectations are so much different that if you decide to talk back or try to get things changed, they will come ways around to different. So, like I've said before, I'm a very black and white cut person. I valued the guys that were under me, whether they're small bonuses, whether they were just a silly trophy, whether it was just some lottery tickets here and there, scratch off tickets. That all money came out of my pocket. That didn't come out of the store pocket. As a sales manager, that was my money that I spent to reward my guys, just to say thank you at the end of the month. And I think you find a lot of management won't do that. They're not going to, unless the store does it. The sales manager or management, parts, service, whatever, may not probably ever do that. And it's because they feel that, well, that's my money, and what part of that, I never got paid off of, I was never a commission guy. Mine was all sales, and I just was a salary guy. That's what I wanted. I wanted my check the same every time, and that's probably what cost me money too. Sure. But I knew I was safe at the time. Do I miss the power sports world? Yes. And why? Customers. I miss it because of the customers' relationships I built. I feel and there was like I said at the end with my mom, the last 2 years of dealing with her Alzheimer's and her walking away and having to deal with that probably cost me my job in the long run. But my family was more important at the time, and it was also a lot of stress to be under, and it probably did. I became more straightforward, but at no time was I asked, are you doing okay? What's going on? How is it? I know your mom's there was no consideration for that. It was, we still need to turn, and we were turning numbers, but I was also seeing things were not being handled. And for some reason, power sports world, it seems that those kind of issues don't want to get talked about. Customers that yank you around, customers that expect way too much, you never want to shut them down. Well, they're a good no, they're not. If your customers are demanding and expecting this, and this, they are not good customers. Good customers can come in, sit down, you talk, you figure it out, you go through this thing. Raising voices, yelling, and trying to get everything at cost and beat the hell out of you all the time, they're not good customers. And they're not loyal customers. They'll buy anywhere. The guy down the street's $400 cheaper, they're going $400, and they don't bring it back for service. They'll travel anywhere to buy a unit, and then all of a sudden when the recall comes, they bring it to you, and you go, well, when'd you get that? And they tell you, well, he was a lot cheaper than you guys were. And that's where follow-up with sales is key. Follow-up with service is key. If you have units in for service or sales, whoever is in charge of that, or make somebody in charge of it, if calling back saying, hey, thanks for bringing it in for service, is everything fine, versus getting that call a couple weeks later of, hey, I just had this sumbitch in there and we have the same issues. If you're not following up with your sales calls on how the unit is, how is it running, are you having any issues, you noticing anything, then you have a problem. You have something that needs to be fixed. You have to have that communication with your customers. The only way that it works real well, and I will tell you that I don't think it's so much, it is Jones Chevrolet to a certain extent, but Chevy in the long haul has probably the best follow-up program. And I'm guessing it's through Chevy because I know what it takes as a salesperson to keep track personally, or what you expect also salespeople to do. But following up on birthdays, following up this, that is the one thing I've always been baffled by, is you never get the call back after buying a vehicle. I stop in enough to wear mine, but if like the UTV situation, hey, how's things running? You've had it now 6 months. How are things doing? You never get that, it seems, in the power sports world. So if you want to step yourself a game up, make sure that if you're in the market of repair or fixing or whatever, that you're calling your customer. I know it's busy. I know you're swamped. You're looking at the 13, 14, 15, 16 things you got going on in service. You got things going on to make those calls. But that just, I feel, is an important thing. I don't think you want that call of, hey, I know you changed my oil, and guess what? The son of a bitch is leaking. Or we've got this issue. Or the coolant was low after you had it. So now, then you just said, well, geez, I thought you'd have called us by now. Why are you not making that call? Just a thought of mine. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing to follow up with customers. If customers are, and if you're in the repair business, it's probably a little different. People know who you are, and they deal with you. Sales world, follow up after the sale is a huge bonus. Hey, do you have any questions? After you've had it now, do you think there's anything you're missing for an accessory? Or your parts and accessories guys, are they following up with after the sale? That's the kind of things I miss in the power sports world, is just making sure every customer is completely satisfied. And it's hard for me in this world because it's all over the internet. And a lot of our sales, I don't even see really until I ship it who the customer is. It's not like they're walking through the door buying here. They're buying online. And we're shipping to Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, whatever, we ship to all the states, and we ship to Canada. So it's very tough that way. But take the time to really understand your business. Take the time to really understand what makes your customers want to come back. What makes them feel like you are the one. Like you're the only one we take our unit to. What makes people feel that way? Try to figure it out. But that's where I'm at today. So enjoy the hot day. Enjoy the air conditioning if you have it. If you don't have it, stay hydrated. Turn a big fan on. Do something along those lines. But that's what I've got today. Just kind of things to talk about. And maybe it'll help. Maybe it won't. But it's worth a try. Have a great day. And as always, take time to bless somebody today.